Welcome to the Odyssey Dialogues podcast. Today we have
Justin,
2.
and Hermela, and we will be analyzing books 6 through 8 of the Odyssey.
Before we get into that, we will give you some context and 30-second summaries of each book, starting with Book 6. In Book 6, Odysseus is washed up onto the shore of Scheria, where Athena leads Nausicaa to him so she can help him. Accordingly, Odysseus is found by Nausicaa and implores her for aid. Nausicaa helps him and gives him directions to her parents' house so he can receive more help.
In Book 7 of the Odyssey, Athena covers Odysseus in a mist of invisibility on his way to Arete and Alcinous so that the Phaeacians couldn't see nor hear him in order for him not to be judged by them. Athena disguises herself as a young girl and gives Odysseus directions to talk to Arete and to not talk to anyone on his way there. Athena then returns to Marathon and Odysseus arrives at the epic palace of Alcinous and begs Arete and Alcinous for help, and he promises to give Odysseus help to get home.
in Book 8, Alcinous calls an assembly of Phaeacian counselors. It is there where a blind bard named Demodocus sings of the quarrel between Odysseus and Achilles at the Trojan War. Odysseus weeps from hearing the song, and King Alcinous witnesses Odysseus crying and decides he will hold a competition of sports. Odysseus performs extremely well at these sports, and he's given gifts from the king and the Phaeacians to take home. And then, now that we got that taken care of, we'll start discussing about our first topic, which is a characterization of the Phaeacians as a whole.
Yes, the Phaeacians seem to be a proud people throughout the chapters, showing off to Odysseus and thinking they're superior to the other people because they're closer to the gods.
Yeah, I guess this kind of shows us the pride that the people of Phaeacia had in themselves.
Especially King Alcinous. He wanted to show Odysseus how great they were at sports so that Odysseus could tell his people back home about it, and went so far as to host a huge sporting competition to prove the strength of his people.
And that tells us, this reveals a bit about ancient Greece and that all the countries were in a sort of competition to be the most superior nation, and it was something that was culturally accepted, even expected, to show off to your peers, if you will. King Alcinous explicitly states that he wants Odysseus to know how much they surpass all other nations in their physical abilities.
So the Phaeacians weren't the only ones who liked to sort of show off.
Yeah, but I feel like they took this little competition a little more seriously than the other countries because Odysseus didn't really seem to care too much about competing in the sports competition. I mean, I know he was too sad to play, but if he had really been dedicated to making his country have a really good impression, he probably would have just put his feelings aside and played in the sports.
Yeah, and to add on to the point that the Phaeacians were really cared about this more so than other countries, that the other countries would probably not host a mini Olympics for this mysterious stranger so he can go back and tell people how great that country is.
They were so proud of themselves that they felt it was so necessary to boast, even though the other nations weren't as motivated. However, although the Phaeacians weren't very humble, they were still pretty decent people.
Yeah, I know we said that they were proud, but they're not like dishonest, like lying to make themselves look better. Nausicaa tells Odysseus that even though the Phaeacians are a seafaring folk and that they're excellent sailors, she does say that they're not archers and they don't know anything about bows and arrows. Later, King Alcinous talks about how the Phaeacians are so great, and he's just extolling his people and how they're skilled in this and that and how they're cultured and have appreciation for fine things, but also admits that they're not good at certain things like boxing.
Exactly. And another positive trait of the Phaeacians is that they stress the importance of family, which actually leads us into our next point.